idea. You gotta understand, me and Scotty been doing a promo. We've been doing an angle here for, maybe it might have been, we might have been a year into it, a year and a half into this. So Scotty knew we had to step it up a notch.
I just went to rehab. I was having a breakdown, and of course Anthony the Pitbull was convinced that I only went to rehab so I wouldn't have to drop the belt, even though I wasn't supposed to drop it for like another year. But as I had a breakdown, Sandman drove me to rehab, which was really beneficial because I was there for 10 days. The day I got out, I immediately went to the pill doctor, got some pills, and went to the store and got a 12-pack. And then I had to go shoot promos in New York, so Sandman and his wife, Sandman didn't feel like driving, so his wife and me drove up to cut promos up in New York. So I mean, it lasted, my rehab lasted all 10 days, and but at least it got me out of my breakdown though. But so anyway, so I knew I had to come back with to the arena with some impact. So I was like, oh, I'll crucify the Sandman. He's a carpenter. He can build it. So I'm not going to build it.
I obviously had no qualms with doing it. So I built it. I built the cross, had it stuffed under the ring.
Kurt Angle was there because I was the guy that made contact with him through Mark Madden. His main concern was that we didn't do anything that came off as so outlandish or anything that involved him, because he didn't want his character to be wrapped up in any kind of controversy.
Like, here's the thing, is if we have it in the ring, people are going to see the play develop. They're going to see a cross. They're going to see what's coming. I don't like anybody to know what's happening until it happens. So I had it under the ring on the near camera side, and I had me, Meanie, Nova, and everybody circled around so nobody could see what we were doing. Our bodies were covering it, and we strapped the Sandman to it, and then all of a sudden we hoisted it in one big motion, and there he is.
80% of this country is Christian. It's the religion that changed the world. Probably not the best choice.
It's like, whoa, that's awesome, this is heavy. And then go into the locker room and just everyone's yelling and screaming and Francine's raising hell.
I did not like that angle.
I remember fans being mad. I remember standing there and walking around the building and people were just angry. And I'd never ever see that. And it wasn't even heel heat angry. We were I want to see this bad guy get killed. It was how dare they do this?
The people, it was the right kind of heat. I mean, the people were this is heavy. And they were just that quiet, the quiet Japanese heat.
Yeah, I was there. That was that didn't get over at all. Kurt Angle, who I guess is also a Christian, who's standing next to me, starts screaming at me, and I'm screaming back. I don't know. I didn't book this thing.
So I turn the corner to the back and I look up and I see Kurt Angle come down. And he's throwing his hat and he's going, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit. I was very specific that this kind of stuff was not supposed to happen." And again, I have no idea what's going on, so I go and look at the monitor, and I see this crucifix, and this just insanely ridiculous angle that Raven and Sandman had conjured up themselves had never gotten cleared by Paul, or so Paul says.
I knew. Sandman knew. Stevie knew. Domini knew. Nova knew. Paulie knew. Maybe Paulie didn't know.
So nobody knew what we were going to do. Obviously, Shane didn't. We get back. There's a big stink about it, and they wanted us to go, but they wanted us. Paulie said something stupid they wanted us to fight back out and do something like that, which I thought was totally ridiculous. I was like, no, he just killed me, left me hanging on the damn cross. So I'm supposed to be, I can't rise from the dead yet. It's not Easter.
Taz was legitimately high, and all these people were oh yeah, because you're Jewish and Todd's Jewish and Paulie's Jewish. Why didn't you crucify him on a Jewish star? I'm like, oh yeah, that'll have a lot of impact. I put him on a Jewish star, it'll roll away.
When I saw it, I exploded. And we immediately went into damage control.
And then Paulie makes me go back out and apologize, which to me was the stupidest thing you could do. But he was trying. Honestly, the only reason Paulie did it was because he was trying to woo Kurt.
So then they talked. They got Scotty to go out and apologize afterwards, which I thought was a crock of shit. Which the one thing that really pissed me off, that we had worked to this point to get to this angle. And then, and then he's gonna come out and apologize afterwards. Raven apologizing. Come on, he could kick my son and he could knock my son over. My son could be on the way to the hospital. Raven wouldn't apologize to me. Be like, my bad.
Let's say hypothetically we did go over the line, which we didn't, because it was the right kind of heat, because I was in the center of it, so I could tell. But let's say we went too far. The last thing your fans want, if you're the Rebels, is to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Hey, if you go too far, then hey, we went too far. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
If it was maybe 2-3 more years later in my career, I never would have let him come out here. I would have said, no fucking way was that going to happen.
The people were really disappointed in the apology which I made as insincere as possible. You know, Paul said make sure it's sincere, so I tried to be sincerely insincere, and I think I accomplished that. I was like, listen, I'm really sorry about that. All right. And then I powdered.
That's the only time that I really thought that there's edgy and there's just...
Next thing you know, Kurt Angle's hired in WWE. You think he told Vince McMahon when the Undertaker hung Steve Austin on a cross a couple months later? You think he told Vince McMahon to go tell him to apologize? That's my take on that angle, Kurt.
Let's leave God out of our business. Let's give him a break. I mean, we don't want to get him into our business, do we?